What's up, boys and girls? It's been a few weeks. I've been busy with my daily runners and stuff like that, and holidays and things like that, but we're back. And first things first, we need to dig out the 86, which is our sim rig project. On today's plan, I've got putting the kit on it and actually cutting it up. First, we got another Fuga in the house. So you guys remember a few years back I had a turquoise one as a full show car. This one is a salvage one, and I would do another episode of why was it salvaged, but I don't think many people watch them. So I can include it, and I'm going to move it out and stick an 86 there and go from there. So this one's plain and simple. It's an import Nissan Fuga, which would be M35s and 45s in US. Fuga is domestic for Japan only, and this one has had a hit on the back, so that panel's damaged, rear bar's damaged, and bumper's damaged. And simple fact is, you can't buy them. So if you can't buy them, you can't fix it. So yeah, insurance just goes, yeah, we're gonna write this off, and that's the end of that story. Yeah, if you buy something like that, if you're prepared to wait for parts, you can pick them up for near enough nothing. And as everything comes with these, it's very good in the grand scheme of things, because it's 2005 car, but all the gear and everything is really good. Very fancy automatic gearbox, 2.5 litre VQ engine, so it's smaller engine than a 350Z, but it's one of those. And this is normal. Every other Japanese car will have that. And space, awesome. Spec wise, this isn't probably the most spec'd out one as they come, because if you guys look back at some of our videos, my one had all leathers inside. All this was reclining, absolutely beautiful stuff. But yeah, it's really good, because you got side blind spot camera. I think this one's got it as well. Oh yeah, it's there. See, even got cameras like that. Camera on the back. Yep, there's one there. And I believe you should have camera in front. Maybe not. I don't think this one's got camera on the front, but it does have a side one. So that's really good, because you can see the curbs and everything like that. It's beautiful that way. And spec wise, you got all the wood. Japanese do like this sort of below interior stuff type of thing, so quite a lot of cars will come that. You got TV, sat nav, things like that. So yeah, on that out, all right, better move this out of the way and actually get started on 86. And as the camera previously mentioned, as you can see, you move it forwards, backwards, and that shows you where the curb is, which is absolutely awesome feature if you got wide wheels, if you don't want to curb them, things like that. So yeah, you got all the VQ noises as well. Just no go when you compare it to 350Zs and things like that. This is more of a cruiser, and this one's got quite a few switches and little things like that. Oh, that's for alarm. It's got aftermarket alarm as well. So yeah, nice comfy cars to have. Only problem is there's not a lot of aftermarket, well, not a lot of parts available, but aftermarket is there. So everything comes from Japan, and that you can actually use quite a lot of bits from 350Zs as well, and 370Zs for that matter, and some Skylines as well. So like brake pads and things like that, you can actually mix and match, so it's not bad. But yeah, it was written off because you can't get parts, and for an insurance company it would be absolute ball ache to fix one of these. So if you got a Japanese import, if it gets a scratch on the door or something like that, sometimes they write them off, because insurance companies don't want a hassle. So right, let's get 86 out, park this one up, and let's go. Right, as it comes for Sim86, I've done a few bits of the camera. I put these little things back on. which is one of those weird design features on 86s that you sort of lift your wing up and then bring bolts on top of that. In our case, these cause slight issue because carbon Kevlar kit is more movable. It's not as rigid as metal ones, so yeah, it needs little spaces put in, and then it's just flush hard. But if you don't care, you can always lift them up, and it's going to be good till somebody leans on top of that. And I actually put half decent bonnet on it. This one here has tiniest little bit of corner damage, which we can sort out later. But for now, for this, it's good. And then the plan is to actually cut the rear quarter off, and this is actually really good. Yeah, a really clean rear quarter car, so it's a shame, but yeah, it's one of those. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly what we did with the Evil car. If you guys remember my carbon Kevlar GT86 that we built for Gatorbill, that never went because of COVID. I did cut these bits off up till there, and I actually left the rear ledge. And I think I'm going to do the same with this one for now, at least. And if the project turns into something else later on, I can always cut the floor out, because all the drift car builds will have all that cut out. Whole rear end's gone. Well, I mean, I'm not spending X, Y and Z amount of money for the custom cage you'll have on pro drift cars. And idea for this one is put something in the back as well, so boot might come kind of useful. So yeah, well, let me drag some pieces out. I'm thinking I'm going to start with the wings, because that's the easy one. Test fit them, see what's what, and then go with cutting later on this evening, and let's see how far we go. But I think by the end of tonight, kit should be on. Right, I got the first two pieces out, and these already been pre-drilled because obviously I've used them before. It makes life nice and easy. This time around though, I'll be using as many of OEM bolts, nuts, whatever I can, because last time I used these, you all know these look nice and everything, but this is how it looks after about 6 months of use on the roads when it's fully exposed. And these actually rust into OEM bolt holes, so you can't get them out. So to avoid that, so using nice looking things like that, I'm just going to use normal bolts and go from there. Alright, let's get them front wings on, see how they look. Yeah, the first little setback is the previous car was running stupidly wide wheels, so this, as you can see, doesn't fit, because these have to be cut out, which I'm going to do. But today, for the test fit reasons, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm just going to put everything together, and the main thing is the rear for us today, and I can tamper with things like that a bit later on to save some time. How good is it to work with something that I've done before? That's on. So now I've got to put front bumper on, line that up. That's about it for the front. Close the bonnet, see what lines up, what doesn't, and go from there. Simple as that. Here it is in all its glory. Last time round that was held on with zip ties. This time round I'm just going to use a couple of bolts. Should be simple enough. Right, simple as that. Obviously these bits are slightly bit out at the minute, things like that. Lines, well, these ones would be half decent, even half for that going in. This one's slightly, I mean, because that would be because bonnet slightly tweaked, needs to come this way. That's an easy fix. Yeah. Front end is on. A bit of a 4x4 look to it. Because I mean, here you go. Yeah, that's the height. Oh, you know, it's not bad. Not bad for the first look. Alright, let's go mark the rear and start demolishing this very nice shell. As you do. I'm going to take a few bits off. Obviously these things are going. I'm going to take seals off, trims, bits like that. I'm going to do that off the camera. Then mark it out and get the rear quarters out. Go from there. Right, so I've thrown some more weight out. When you think you're throwing all the weight out, there's still some more. And now we're dealing with this little tiny bit of kit. So that means probably place it on top of everything and show you what we're dealing with. So it's just, yeah, something like that. Something like that will do. So it goes all the way in behind the door, follows the body line, and it comes up here somewhere. As you can see, it replaces all this bit here is gone. So I think the idea is take it off nicely. It's already got some battle scars, as you can see, a few chips from rocks from inside from previous use. I think the idea is I'm going to cut it slightly higher for now, and this sort of area here, and then separate these two bits, cut all this behind and up till there somewhere, pretty much like that. Right, let's get to cutting. See how it looks. Yeah, see how it looks. Okay, so not so long after, this is where the piece needs to land, more or less. I need to do quite a bit more trimming. Well, I'm probably not going to film that, so I'm going to show you what's what. So let's open the door. Let's get this thing off. Super light, as you would expect. There goes that. So, hole in the arch is going. Gonna trim that out. This sort of needs to be level with that, so that's all coming out. I'm leaving this bit for some support points. This needs to be trimmed because the edge needs to be quite a bit lower. This probably needs to come off up till there. And around here, I'm going to trim all that bottom bit out, and then I'm going to come back to you guys. I'm going to show you how the finished piece fits. This is pretty much where I want to be. So what I'm going to do now is put the panel on and attach it with drywall screws. Why not? Because I mean, it does need to look pretty at the minute. It just needs to be on there, and I'll show you where it sits in a minute. So we have it, just like that. We got one super wide 86. Lines up really nicely here, slightly up there. Well, it's fairly flush, so can't moan with that one. Lines up there. This one ended up being slightly high though, but it sits flush do this, so not to worry about that. Just one screw there for now. And yeah, so we got, this is one side, and that's the other side. I'll go further back so you guys can see. That's the difference we're dealing with. Crazy. Alright, let's cut the other side off, which I'm going to do off the camera. And then I'm probably going to do fronts as well, whilst I'm at it. And then do a conclusion for this video. And then be pretty much ready to put in sim rig. Well, that's another quarter panel off. One thing worth mentioning though, fuel tank. So I just literally made a star around this. I need to remove that. And you guys, if you're doing this sort of swap, need to be careful because your fuel tank's still attached. Obviously in this case it's not attached, so I can just cut it off and bin it, and nothing's going to change out of that. So yeah, now I've got to cut this down, get rid of that, get rid of the fuel tank thing, and get rid of this, and then stick everything back on like it's on the other side. And that's a complete carnage. Looks something like this, just a little tidying up to do. Fit the kit, and we rock and roll. Probably gonna card this one slightly higher and rock and roll. Here comes the last piece of the puzzle. Hardware's all there, penny washers with ease and that, and simple. You got located holes there, and tighten them there, and 2 holes in there. That's it, simple as that. Right, this is how much weight and stuff we've lost. I mean, these alone weigh quite a bit. That thing there probably weighs more than a whole kit that's on that thing in a minute. Yeah, just randomly checking out the weight of a sim rig. Why not? Why not? Okay, so it's that time of the year before it goes too dark. This is what we got. This is the sim rig Carbon Kevlar kit by HGK. Still have to trim the corners there. But yeah. Now I need to figure it out. Who wants to donate me with some wheels, I think? Any takers? Because I mean, he was there. Now we're here. Yeah, looks beautiful, doesn't it? Even though it's only going to be a sim rig. Right, that's it for this one, guys. So if you like this sort of thing, like, comment, subscribe, comment all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.